welcome to week 4 of project planning and documentation. I've had a chance to finish up and get back to your course project. A lot of you guys are all on the right track. Some very interesting topics. Some of you went out of the box and doing something different, like you got wedding coordinator, but I have a wedding photographer, which is really cool. I got a few of you that are in the IT industry that are going to do that software package. So a lot of you have some, really interesting topic ideas to kind of use for your course project. And kind of reviewing week 3, it was a semi-light week for week 3, only one discussion post and one written assignment. So you did have on business processes. I've seen really great papers that I've already kind of looked at and reviewed for your creating your business processes before and after. Please remember that it's not just creating those flowcharts, but I'm also needing you to describe those flowcharts to me as far as what is happening, why did you decide to make these changes, what are we exactly talking about. It's not just creating those flowcharts. And I'm not looking for anything overly elaborate on your flowcharts, as long as you've got the basics down. And again, using that information that I provided last week. The discussion post on project scoping, again, everybody's doing really well there. I haven't had too many issues. Just make sure you are using that classmate's name and get everything in before that Saturday close. So this week, module 4, week 4, we're going to talk about planning projects. This is really the part 1, I guess, if you will, for project planning. You've got a little bit more work to do this week because you have that course projects section. So you do have a written assignment, a discussion post, and a course project. And then, of course, you have your mid-quarter survey too. So this week's objectives to describe the importance of creating plans to guide project execution, explain the differences between time estimates and project planning, explain how the WBS and the JPPS fit into planning processes, and describe how estimations relate to project planning. A lot of this I've already seen in a lot of your work. Many of you have already talked about budgeting and really how important that really is to parts of project planning. So this won't be too much of a stretch for you this week to incorporate that into these particular assignments. So time is a factor, so think back to your own personal or professional or educational experience and recall a project that you were involved in. Basically, where time was a major factor in determining the success or failure of that project. What sorts of consideration regarding the cost of the project did you have to work it out? Was the project a success? And looking back, what could you do differently to make it more effective as a project? So this will be about 1 to 2 pages, a Word document, and remember to use APA and cite your sources. Sorry, it's kind of blurry. So just kind of breaks it down that you've used your personal experience, what considerations regarding costs were addressed, and of course, was the project successful, and what kind of changes would you potentially have made and why, and then of course, grammar. Your discussion post is managing the project scope. So what do you think is important about understanding and continuously refining the project scope? So we talked about project scope in a meeting last week and kind of defining what that meeting would look like, who would be involved, why would they be involved, why would it be important to have certain amount of individuals in meetings. So now we really want to look at kind of that continuous improvement, total quality management, if you will, as it pertains to refining your project scope. So how often would you need to go back and look at those fundamental questions? A lot of you had some really good ones additionally that you would want to add or just change those fundamental questions a little bit in week 2. So again, looking at those, how often would you want to go back and revisit those questions? Would this be something you would do continuously for every project? And maybe that would be a part of your brainstorming session. Let's look at these questions. Should we add any more specifically for this project? So provide at least 2 examples on why you would support your answer. And again, Wednesday and Saturday, please make sure you're using classmates' names. So this week, you're going to be doing your project overview statement. Really, this is creating that POS and addressing kind of that project idea that you've already discussed with me as far as your topic the previous week. Creating a one-page document and answering the following questions. What's the problem or opportunity that you see here? What is the overall project goal? And what is the overall project objectives? What are your success criteria? So how would you determine this project was successful? And then, of course, any types of assumptions or risks or obstacles that you may have to overcome to make sure that this project, and that's really that contingency plan, which I know I've read some of you have kind of already incorporated that in some of those fundamental questions, kind of adding that into your overall project overview statement. And again, this is due Sunday midnight. Kind of giving you the breakdown. Here's your overall overview statement for your project, and then here is addressing those minimum questions, the problem, opportunity, goals, objectives, criteria, and assumptions and risk. So please make sure you do watch these. I will have extra credit, I promise. It'll probably be after midterms, so week 6, 7, or 8, around there. Once kind of midterms are over and done with, and kind of everybody's reacclimated back into everything, and because I know some of you might have midterms earlier in other classes than others. Anywhere from like week 4 to 6, we tend to have midterms. So I wanted to make sure we kind of bypassed all of that. Everything can kind of come back down to normal, your normal assignments. And then, of course, the extra credit, I can throw that out there for those that think that they need that. And we'll talk further about that when we get closer to that time frame. So any other questions, comments, concerns, feel free to email me, reach out to me. Don't forget your classmates, the student lounge, as well as if need be, we can set up a time to discuss by phone or by Adobe Connect. So hope everybody has a great week 4, and I will see you soon. Bye.